Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stafford Boxing Report. You already know who I am. I'm Sheila.
And I'm Big Stafford. Yeah, Stafford Boxing,
The making of champions.
Mm.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Same old, just a
You know
different
what it
day and a
is.
better day.
For real.
Thank you for tuning in now, and also for those that are going to be watching later or listening to later. We have a very special guest today. She is the Chief Financial Officer of Feeding Georgia Families, a nonprofit social service agency here in Georgia. Everybody, please welcome Alicia Ali Rivera. Drum
Hello,
roll. Hello, hello. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Amazing, amazing. Thank you for being with us today. So, how I would like to ask you, you are the Chief Financial Officer of Feeding Georgia Families. Can you tell us some of the responsibilities and duties that you do with the organization?
So, beyond just the financial stuff, I handle all of the programming. The reason why I handle it is because I know the financials. So, I kind of have a hand in all the programming that goes into it. Because if you don't know the financials, you can't do the programming, excuse me. So, I handle programming, and I also handle the client facing side of things. So any special requests, like they come through me and I make sure that we have the right orders put in for all of that stuff as well. So I dabble in a little bit of everything.
Okay, well, that makes sense. You have to put the pieces together in the puzzle, and you are one of the main pieces, the components to allow that to allow the organization to run
Right.
effectively the way that it has. So, how long has Feeding Georgia Families been providing services for the community?
We've been around for about 12 years, a little over 12 years now. Yes. We
Okay,
started off in 2010.
okay. Now, I was looking at some of the programs that you all offer
Mhm.
and your pantry. There's one that stuck out to me. You all often offer vegan.
Yes, that's correct.
So, what made you all decide to offer the vegan?
Well, it's twofold. One, we started off with food allergies. I have a lot of food allergies myself. So when I started this, I said there has to be other people out there that need food assistance that need specialty foods as well. But are they getting it when they go to get that assistance? So how is that affecting them, and how can we be a part of that change? So that was the first thing. Then the second part came with the vegan side of things. I was like, okay, well, beyond food allergies, what about moral or religious restrictions? How are they being served? So that's where vegantry came into play.
Okay, I like that. That totally makes sense. So, one of the programs that you all offer too is the Homeless Outreach Program. And I saw in Washington, D.C. and Maryland. Can you go more into details about that?
So part of our programming now, right before the pandemic, I believe it was like 2018, we started partnering with local agencies, um, smaller agencies, to try to get food into smaller areas that didn't have necessarily have a food pantry presence. Um, and so we have family members and friends in different states. And so what we would do is we put together packages, ship it out to them, and then they would distribute in their areas as well. So that started around 2018-ish. Yeah.
Ms. Rivera, I was wondering if you can give us a little bit about your background because, like, this is very interesting. Having a financial background, but also being the nuts and bolts of the organization as well.
So for me, I started off. Let's start with education. Um, I went in for pre med. Um, Changed my mind halfway through and said, okay, I was more into psychology. So my major focuses on psychology, um, public service, and business management. So it combines everything that I do now. So I kind of had the groundwork for what I'm doing when I started with my education. Personally, we started providing food and toys and different things for people in need um, right after I got out of college. So about 2002-ish, we really started as a family to give back, um, and we kind of branched off into our own agency from that point because there was so much need that we saw, um, that it just felt like what we were doing wasn't enough at the time. So we came from working with other agencies to creating Feeding Georgia Families out of that.
Okay, so what college did you graduate from?
Ashworth University.
What say that again?
Ashworth University.
Where that's located?
They have a campus here in Norcross.
Okay, all right, bet. Okay, so it's in Georgia.
Yes, there's one in Georgia.
Okay, bet. So when you say we, are you talking about you and your husband, or you and your cousin, or you and your uncle, auntie, grandma, mama, daddy, brother, sister, kinfolk? Which one?
All of the above.
Okay,
So it's a family affair. It's a friend affair. When we first started off, it was with our grandmother. She was still with us, and we were doing more of the Toys for Tots and the angel trees, things like that. When she passed is when we decided to kind of branch out into doing our own pantry, doing the feeding the homeless. We started off doing 400 plates a week, cooking out of our house, and then going out and distributing it that day. So it started off really as an extension of what we were doing as a family.
okay, cool. So I want to let everyone know that I was connected to you by a good friend of mine. His name Travis, but I know him by Trap. So I saw your presence on social media on Instagram. And
Mhm.
so I seen how y'all had a diverse group of people, white and black and Hispanics, at the, I guess, headquarters, and y'all were loading up, stuff on the back of the trucks and so forth and so forth. And so when me and my wife was talking, I was like, you know what, baby, I think we should try to partner with them to kind of help feed our youth, because we have about what 20 kids in our program. So we was thinking about, you know what, maybe we can go ahead and feed their families as well once a month.
Mhm.
So I'm very excited that we had an opportunity to partnership with you guys and stuff like that. So hopefully in November, which is tomorrow, I don't know what date that we'll be able to connect, but I think, is it the third week of November or something like that?
I believe it is the third week of November. Yes.
So I will get a notification, right?
Yes, you will.
Okay, bet. Go ahead, babe.
Okay, so some of the programs that you offer is the career and the student kits.
Mhm.
Now, can you go into detail about the career program and what is involved with that?
So, in as a part of the pandemic, a lot of people were out of work. We had a lot of people that lost their homes, so they're now on the street. And we were trying to figure out how we could extend our services. So we already worked with the unhoused, we already worked with the homeless, but how can we do more of a well-rounded approach to our services? So that's where the Career Learning Center came to be. What they do is they come in. They're either unhoused meaning that they don't live within their own home. They may couch surf. They may live in their car. They may bounce from family member to family member. And then we have the homeless that are living on the street. They can come here. We will give them employment. So they get paid to help them get into a hotel room. Then in that process, we try to get them into transitional housing. But while they're here, they learn a skill so that they're able to apply for work that is not minimum wage. We want them to have a living wage. So it's a transitional process for them, and they can come in through the Career Learning Center, get everything that they need here, build their resume, have current work experience, have a current address to be able to use for applications, and for services like SNAP benefits. They can have their address. They can use our address to get their all their paperwork done and all that, because you have to have that in order to get a lot of these services. And it's just easier for them to be able to come to one location and get all of that done. So that's where the Career Learning Center kind of came into play with everything.
Wow, that's amazing because it's like you found a white space and then you just covered it, because that's one of the main concerns and one of the main issues is because people don't have an address.
Right.
So they're not able to get certain things that can actually help them, like food stamps, so they can get food, and then also with some jobs. So
Hmm.
we appreciate you. Thank you so much. But I do want to talk about the students, though, because there are some students that are couch surfing, or they may live in their car, or they may even sleep outside. Can you tell us about that?
So our services are mainly referral, um, for housing. We just connected with a youth services agency, so they provide transitional housing. So now we can actually offer that as a service for youth. Um, Outside of that, we provide school meals. So Fulton County, all of the school districts gave free meals during the pandemic, and they do it over the summer as well. But we cover students that have food allergies or medical restrictions. So those meals don't, they can't use those meals. So even though they have access to it, they don't have access to the nutrition that they need. So we cover that gap for those students as well. And then part of our programming also is our partnerships with other agencies. And so we have like a book buddy program, and they will get snack kits. And so, as an incentive for reaching grade level, or just increasing their reading, they get these little snack kits to go along with it. So, we're trying to push the educational component of our student learning through our partnerships.
Okay. Now, the holidays are here. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Christmas is right around the corner. Can you tell our viewers what you all will have going on for Thanksgiving and Christmas?
So, we have a no questions asked drive up Thanksgiving program. It's on a regular day that we're open. We open every Monday from um, 5 to 6:30 p.m. So it'll be during the exact same hours, no changes. You drive up, we don't ask any questions, we load your trunk for you. So that's no registrations, don't have to worry about any of that. Um, I order way over what we need just to make sure that everyone's covered. We don't want anybody coming here and not getting food. We have people driving from Gwinnett, Griffin, different areas, and we want to make sure that everyone's served within that time frame that come to us. Uh, so beyond that, we also have a secondary Thanksgiving program that we're going to be holding down in Middle Georgia. Um, that's going to be on a different date during the week of Thanksgiving, but we're going to make sure that that area is covered as well. And then for Christmas, we're going to do two programs, one here and one in Middle Georgia as well. That is a registration base, because the children will register for the different toys that they like. They let us know their interests, and Santa will put it together, and they'll be able to come and pick up their toys from us during those programs.
That's amazing. I'm loving this. The kids, the families. When you said that there's a need, you all are really giving it all that you all have. And it's just really amazing to me, because we know that during the holidays, people are stressed out a little bit more than they are when the holidays are not around, because they don't know what they're going to get their kids, if they're going to be able to eat. So, with all the work that you all do, can you please tell our viewers how they can either donate and or volunteer?
For donations, you can go to feedga, that's feedga.org. We have a regular website, feedinggafamilies.org, but Feed Georgia's a lot easier on the tongue. Um, so there's different options on there as far as how they can help. They can collect canned goods. They can donate monetarily. If they want to volunteer, they can also register on the website to come in and see us. We need a lot of help for the holiday season. We're going to be organizing all of our toys. We have a 20-foot trailer that's full of toys for ages 0 to 18. And so we're going to sort everything. Once the wish list come in, we're going to assign the toys to children. So we're going to wrap them and have them prepared for the event day. In addition to that, we make sure that there are food boxes available for the families. So they're not just coming and picking up toys, they are going to get food to go with as well.
Amazing, baby. Do you have? I know
Uh,
you do. So I don't even know why I asked.
well, Miss Allie is
Yeah.
what you prefer to be called. I want to say that I think that your program, number one, is amazing. I
Thank you.
also like the fact that it's a family oriented business. I love the fact you, your husband, your kids, your grandma, well, God bless her soul, cousins, auntie, uncles, everyone is pitching in for a cause. Now, I'm just kind of like amazed, like what drives you every day, because this is a non-profit organization, so there's a difference between for-profit and non-profit. So what drives you to pursue a service of excellence to the community?
I can put it this way. When someone comes to you and just the simplest thing, like someone asked if we had hot dogs because they're living on the street and it's easy for them to be able to just go to a bonfire or go to the park and use the grill. And we're like, yeah, here you go. And here's some buns too. They break down and they cry.
Mm,
That's why we do it.
mm.
Just those simple things that can help somebody. You never know what anyone's going through. That's why we have a no questions asked drive up. We do collect information. It helps us if they register because, with being a nonprofit, you have to have those numbers. You have to say how you're impacting. So there's other ways that we gather that information other than them registering and providing that information to us directly. But we want to make sure that anyone in need has a safe place that they can come to and not worry about it. That's one of the reasons we started our 24-hour grab and go market. It's inside of our little foyer, and they can come in and they can shop 24 hours a day for whatever they need in there. No questions asked. They don't have to worry about anyone else seeing them, having to talk to anybody. They come any whatever time's convenient to them. So it's all about making help accessible to as many people as possible.
I
I
love it.
love it.
I
Oh,
love
we
it.
said the
Been the
same
same
thing.
thing.
And I just want to say something real quick. Now, to our viewers, everybody. Now we know that Talk and Fight hosts the Stafford Boxing Report. And nobody said anything, but yes, we do talk about boxing. But sometimes you have to get out of the box because we're all about helping those that are in need and having a voice for the voiceless. So this was the perfect timing for you to be on the Stafford Boxing Report. I have learned a lot from you, and we just want to say that we appreciate you and your family and everybody who is involved with feeding Georgia families, because we all know, whew, it's gotten real rough and tough
Oh
out
yeah.
here in these streets,
And you know
and
what?
you have to be careful yourself.
And you know what, Sheila?
Hmm.
I also think that there are a lot of homeless college students.
Yes.
And I think that your organization will definitely help students at Georgia State. We love Georgia State. We are products of Georgia State. As you can see, we got the blue flame in the background. So, and my wife got the blue on because we represent that state. But anyway, I really believe that this organization should try to establish a relationship with Georgia State University, because there are a lot of kids, a lot of college
Mhm.
students that are homeless. And, I applaud them for even having the drive just to go through college without having a place to stay or enough nutrition to eat to be able to sustain them
Whew.
as they, focus on their, classwork, because I'm gonna tell
It's
you,
not sweet.
Georgia State not sweet. Now it's easy to get in, but it's hard to get out. And so like college is not a sprint but a marathon. And I
Mhm.
think that having food supply
Yes.
on your journey while in college is important. Like things on campus is expensive. Yes, they got Chick-fil-A, they got the dining halls, you got North Central and Patton Hall and all of those other types of things. But that meal package, you know what I mean?
It
I mean,
costs.
Right.
for a
Mhm.
semester, it's thousands of dollars.
Mhm.
So I just think that you have a great foundation to really help the kids, you know what I'm saying, to be able to feel somewhat of support,
Mm-hmm.
you know, through their bellies, you
Yeah.
know. So
Mhm.
they have like
They
a
have like
panther,
a
a
Panther
food pantry,
pantry.
but it ain't nothing like that what y'all got going. Y'all, woo, woo, boy, y'all doing the thing. So, and the other thing, baby, you know they do dog food too, man. They got
Yes.
pet
You
food. Yeah,
do?
yeah,
Yes. We have
Oh,
a
I didn't
pet pantry. Hmm.
yeah. I know y'all got Eukanuba, don't y'all? Bill Jack,
We
all that other.
all of it. Yes. Even the
So that's
Wow.
specialty ones.
premium.
If the dogs have food allergies, we have dog food for them too. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Miss Ali, you know, we got 20 kids in the Stafford boxing program, so they
Mhm.
fifth graders. We'll be meeting with them
Yeah.
Wednesday. And
Mhm.
so, like, I'm had to get with you because, you know, they are very dear to us, and we are very honored to be able to have an impact in those children's lives. And so Christmas is coming up, and we serve a underprivileged community. And so we will definitely, since we partners now, we partners,
Yes.
we
Yes.
partners.
We're going to
Let's
connect
do
on that
it.
as well. I will shoot you an email so that we can get together to cover your students as well. Yes.
Oh
Thank you.
man, cause
Mhm.
listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm hustling for these kids. I
Yes,
mean,
Uh,
Richard,
I
this
didn't,
is,
I didn't
we
really.
are, we are.
I didn't really turned up, you know what I'm saying, my hustling skills because now we got kids, they depending on us. But like I said, we're not trying to be their mother or their fathers. We just trying to be positive male role models in their life. And
mhm.
since we have a platform and a partnership with you guys, we want to utilize that partnership to their benefit. And so we're just very, very, very appreciative for just the hospitality, but also the professionalism that you display. And I got one more thing to say, then I'm gonna turn it over to my wife. So I sent y'all the our logo. So where will our logo be? You know what I'm saying? Cause we need to campaign this thing now.
Yes. So we are actually going to be building another page on our website with all of our partnerships. So that will be coming up in the next couple of weeks. Yes. So you'll see it on there. Mhm.
Okay, okay. Yes, Lord.
And I will say this, we are very excited to partner with you because we have, in your particular area, we have organizations that cover like the extended stay hotels, they cover the homeless, but we didn't have anybody that covered youth. So when you contacted us, we were like, perfect, right on time. This is exactly what we're looking for. So we are definitely going to connect and do more. It's I will say this, it's more than just food, but food is the fundamental. If they don't have the proper nutrition, education suffers.
Well, I
Education
like that.
suffers, economic opportunity suffers. So
Yes,
it's
Lord.
a revolving cycle. And if we can start with just this one piece, we can work on all the rest of it. But we have to get the fundamental down first. So I
Oh
thank you
man.
for coming to
Hey,
us.
Thank
no,
you,
Yes.
no.
Eddie.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ali. Yeah, Muhammad Ali. But anyway, I'm so excited as you can see my enthusiasm. I'm just happy that, you know, like just the connection. And let me tell you, so I haven't seen trap like in 20 years, right? I just so happened to look on social media and I seen him like, cause understand me, I know Trap. I mean, you know, he's the community activist now, but God did a workmanship on that guy. And I'm so happy for him, man. He's a free man. And I love his movement and everything that he's doing. So I seen Trap. I was like, wait a minute. The only difference was he had a great beard, right? And I was like, man, they go Trap. And then I was like, so I was watching him. He was, you know, he was suited and booted. I was like, okay, bet. And then I seen he was at y'all headquarters and he was like volunteering. Then he had some
Mhm.
some white people on, and they was volunteering. I was like, wait a minute. Then I ain't gonna lie, I was looking at the food that y'all was putting on these trucks, and I was like, okay, they pushing P, they pushing premium. Like the
Oh
food
yeah,
that comes from your organization is not, I mean, that's not garbage. That's straight top shelf premium. I'm talking about people pay premium dollar for that. So the fact that y'all are able to get this high premium food into your organization and distribute it to the community is like A1, and I love that, man. And so like going back to track, so I was thinking, and me and my wife were talking. I was like, baby, you know what? We need to build with this organization because like a lot of these parents don't have that type of income to
right.
sustain, the food because the price of food has went up tremendously. So we need to find out, like what's going to separate the Stafford boxing club from other boxing
Mhm.
gyms and clubs in Atlanta. So I think, and I believe I could be wrong, but if my memory served me well, we will be the only boxing club in Atlanta that has partnered with a food bank to distribute food to the youth. Now, I like to pat myself on the back, but giving praise to the Most High for the vision, and but also just having the opportunity to partnership with you guys, man. And so, like, I'm just real excited. I'm glad that you had an opportunity to come on the Stafford Boxing Report and share about your organization, because I think that it needs to be highlighted in the community for things that you guys are doing. Sometimes when we serve in the community on the nonprofit level, we don't get recognized as much as for profit because it's not like you making money. You get what I'm saying? And so
Right.
you depending on companies and other organizations to fellowship with you guys and share resources so that you can distribute them accordingly. And
And
so,
I'm
I asked Trap, I was like, hey, Trap, man, I need to get in contact with these folks. I mean, it wasn't less than 30 seconds. And, when I reached out to you, you was like, hey, he go to application. But then, me, I'm a timing person. Everything got to be like, timing got to be right. So when we did connect and we did get the paperwork rolling, we were able to make things go. And I'm just glad that we're here at this point.
yeah, I'm so glad that you brought up the type of food because that's one of our initiatives, healthy eating initiative. Um, One of the things that we did is bring in these premium foods, organic foods, things of that nature, into our communities because that's stuff that they're not able to get. If they don't have the transportation, they can't get out to these stores to get this type of food. So it was a learning curve for a lot of people when they first come to us. It's like, okay, well, what is this? And that's part of what we do. It's like, okay, so we started off with mushrooms. A lot of times we hear they're not going to eat that in this area. Well, why not? Why can't they eat that in this area? They can. They just have to know how to prepare it. They have to know what it is and what to do with it and how it can be done. So we started educating people on, hey, this is how you prepare mushrooms. You could do this with it. You can do that with it. And now they actually come back and say, hey, do you have any mushrooms this week? So it's not people in this area don't eat this and they don't eat that, or my kids won't eat this or they won't eat that. You have to educate them on why it's important to eat it, how they can make it where they would like it. Because there's all of us are different. We all like different things. So we can't expect everyone to like the same things, but we can educate them beyond just what they know at the moment.
Go ahead, babe.
I think all the questions have been asked.
You don't have nothing else to say?
No, because she's gone through the programs, the she's gone through the programs and everything.
Well, Miss
I don't
Alice,
think we missed anything.
I
Did we
hope
miss
not. Did we
anything?
miss anything? Because hey, look, this your time. Go ahead and let the world know anything that we didn't ask you. We want to give you this opportunity to let everyone know what's going on with the program.
Just about the volunteers, they can be any age, 4 and up, um, as long as there's a parent or guardian with them. So we do large groups, we can do small groups, families, individuals. Um, just contact us and we'll work you into scheduling. My niece, she just turned 7 not too long ago, and she's been volunteering since she was 1. She
What?
would cry. Yeah, she would cry to stock the shelves.
Hmm.
So so we take all ages. We want to make sure that anybody that wants to help out can do so. They don't have to worry about childcare, any of that. We will work with you regardless. Yes.
Man, you know what, baby man? I wish we would have had them in our inauguration when we did our event at
Well,
Winona
there's
Way.
plenty of times. There's going to be so many other opportunities and events that the Stafford Boxing Club Incorporated is going to have. And of course, I mean, it's a no brainer.
For real, man. Cause I ain't gonna lie, Miss Allie, this been a very good interview, and I really appreciate your time for you coming on the Stafford Boxing Report.
Yes, thank you.
We greatly
Thank
appreciate
you.
it, and so we definitely be in
Hmm.
contact via email with that
Love
information.
what you're doing and how
Man,
you're
for
doing
real,
it too.
respect. And you know what? Y'all pushing P over there, P for premium, no cap.
That's what we do. We try. I say it's a small company, but we do big things.
I can't tell by the social media presence. It seems like y'all got a whole warehouse.
It's that's one thing that we're trying to do. We have more clients that want to donate more, but we don't have the capacity. We don't have the space. So we're trying to get a larger location to be able to provide more food to our families every week and to provide to more families every week. So it's a twofold thing. We want to give more food every week, and then we want to provide for more families too.
So if anybody out here that's watching and listening, they need more space. So she gave you the information to how you can get in contact
Yeah,
with
tap
them.
in with them for
So go
real.
ahead. They need the space. They're doing some great things in the community. They're reaching out to others, even in different states. So if you have the facility, if you have the space, go ahead and just we're going to say you're going to end up getting the space. It's just going to be given to you out of nowhere.
Yeah, or better yet, you know what I'm saying? Cut a check. That just, you know what I'm saying? Just cut the check.
And Eddie Barrington said, "Where can we donate?" So can you just say one more time how they can donate?
Feedga.org. FEEDGA.org.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Well, Miss Ali, it's been a pleasure having
It
you on the
really
Stafford
has.
Boxing
Thank you.
Report.
Thank
You
you.
pushing P for premium? Yes, sir.
All right, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Hey, everybody. I know I've been reading the comments. Yes, Richard. So, Richard, put in the comments on whatever it is that you want to talk about. So, while you're doing that, I'm going to talk about the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame that just went on October 22nd, of course, in Las Vegas, Nevada. They sold out. They had inductees, and then they had the special award. And one of the inductees that they had, she's going to be our special guest on the 14th of November, Brooke No Mercy Deerdorf Millbrook. She's going to be a special guest November 14th. But they also had other inductees, Eva Jones Young, Hannah Fox, Frida Gibbs. I can't tell everybody. We don't have that time. Corey Weber, Tracy Bird, and also a friend of ours, Jimmy Finn,
Oh
which is
yeah.
he's a real good guy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so this has been bothering me about the Katie Taylor and Karen fight. UK leading the way in female boxing, and you are absolutely
Absolutely right.
right.
For real.
You are absolutely right.
For real. We trying to get on that wave. Matter of fact, we,
What?
we got the Stafford boxing gloves, the pink ones for the women. Yeah, for real. Holler at us.
Oh yeah.
For real. Leather though. Not pleather, but leather.
So this fight, I was somewhat disappointed, but I understand the politics with it. Now, Karen Elizabeth, she did hold her own. I have to give it to her. She did hold her own, but that was a mismatch. That was a total mismatch fight. And what I also don't agree with is the fact that I'm good to go. Setting up. Oh, okay. What I also want to talk about is when they have fighters coming from a different country, like she's from Argentina. So you couldn't get any information on Karen. and you couldn't see any of her fights because she was just fighting other Argentinas. My whole thing was what I'm getting is where they fought at. And I think it's just to kind of keep, no disrespect, Katie Taylor relevant. And then she wants to fight with Amanda again. So I think that they just did that on a whim. And then when you think about it, when people that are from other countries are given an opportunity, they are very humble. And some that times that can be a conflict with them needing to be that beast in that ring.
That gorilla.
So I also think that's also a way to where they get taken advantage of to make the other person feel better. And then they had the nerve to have a post saying Katie Taylor's the GOAT. The GOAT. So I'm trying to figure out
the greatest woman of all time.
I'm trying to figure out where. And that is no disrespect. Let me tell you something. Just like I am with the guys, I'm going to be with the females. This is just my personal opinion. Female boxing has come a very long way. Shout out to Lady Tiger.
For real.
And I need more people to speak about Lady Tiger because she is the reason why women boxers are getting paid what they're getting paid, even though they still need to get paid more because there's talk on equal pay when it comes with the women and the men.
For sure.
I don't get why. This is a question that I have though. Maybe you can answer this. What's taken so long for the women to get paid? Is it because they're not getting the money from certain pay-per-views sometimes? Because not all fights, I guess, are worth being shown on pay-per-views, they're saying, when it comes to women. Are the tickets, are they not selling? Is it just because of like the Clarissa and Marshall fight? Over 2 million people were watching their fight. And just imagine after the fight.
Yeah, but just like Last Bell Boxing said, it depends on what demographic. Like over in UK, female boxing is like it's like A1. But in America, because of
the mindset for so long and not wanting to change.
Yeah, and just being a male dominant country, you know what I mean? So, but women do have a voice in this country. And just like with the WNBA, you know, I just really think that there is a discrepancy between male and female sports. And female boxing to me is entertaining to me because I think them women, they really train hard and they really got skills. You know what I mean? And so like we got to adopt
is it down to the promoters over there like Aram?
Baby, we don't want to say nothing about Bob Arum, man, for real, because you know we don't want to say nothing bad about anyone in boxing because we know that this boxing community is close niche. It's only a handful of guys that control it. What I will say is that Bob Arum is in his 90s, and so as we mature in our age, sometimes it's kind of hard for us to change and look at things in a different way because of what we grew up on. I did see somewhere on Top Rank website that they did have like a female boxer or boxers that they are starting to promote. But I just think that they don't feel that the market for female boxers in the U.S. is like that of UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Baby. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Last Bell Boxing, me and my wife, we were just talking about that. That if they go like instead of 2 minutes to 3 minutes, I think it'll be a little bit more entertaining because it will require them to really like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think 3 minutes, and I just think that there needs to be, you know, some more promoters, new blood in the game to promote a different perspective on boxing. You got Top Rank, you got
Golden Boy,
Golden Boy, and with Dazen,
Mm-hmm.
and
Dazen.
it's another. It was
And then
Where
you have
Premiere.
Floyd.
It was where, yeah,
Some
it
time
was where
rounds are just
Premiere was.
warming up and the bell goes. You're absolutely right because you can tell too at the
Yeah,
beginning. You right on that one.
you're right.
The U.S. just what my husband just said, and I think the promoters still need some work. I was going to give some suggestions, but I'm not going to because I have to get paid for some consulting fees for
For
that
real.
because there are some things that you all are really not doing, and I see it, and shame on you. And
But if you want to understand and know about these ideas, then you can definitely get in contact with us, well, with Sheila, and she can definitely bring some tremendous ideas to the sport of boxing from a female perspective to promote it more in the U.S. because there is a market for it because there are a lot of female uh, young females that has a high interest in boxing. So people like Clarissa Shield and Amanda and the rest and Katie and all them other great female fighters are definitely starting a new wave. But baby, I want to go back to what you said.
what?
We need to start something like a movement or something that these female fighters will contribute something to Lady Tiger because like she's the one who pioneered for females to have a restroom in a boxing gym.
She sacrificed herself. She went on
a
a hunger strike.
A hunger strike. And on top of that, I mean, to get respect, she was fighting the males. And the males were really giving it to her, and she ain't back down. So I think oftentimes in this country, particularly in the U.S., we don't pay enough homage to those who have come before us and paved the way for us to be able to have the delicacies and the opportunities that we have today. We look down on those who have come before. Oh man, they old. We don't want to talk to them, man. They don't know what, because man, it's new. I'm young. Woo, woo. Things have changed. Woo, woo, woo. Yes, things are changed, but the principles and the fundamentals has not changed. And so like people in the UK and Africa and Pakistan and China, all
That's
over
their
the
culture.
world, they honor their elders and those who have come before them. They pay homage, and I just don't understand why we don't do that in the U.S. We like cast aside our elders, and that's
You're
we
right,
should be
Last Bell
ashamed.
Boxing.
We should be ashamed of that.
You're right. The U.S. it's for some reason
It's a great country.
Unless you're a Floyd Mayweather. If you're
Why you say that?
Well, I'm talking about better. It's for like fights. If you're like Floyd Mayweather, remember he had one. What was it last year, or the year before last at the State Farm Arena? So it's easier for him because he's known and he boxed. That's what I'm saying. It's easier for him to actually have a show here in the U.S.
Yeah,
so he can bring in fighters with the U.S. With the other ones, it's for whatever reason. And I also think it's about the money. I don't think that they think a lot of people are going to in the U.S. is really going to come or pay.
I'm man. Listen,
in
I'm
the
gonna tell you
U.S.
this. Listen,
And then in the U.K. and Australia, yeah, but not in the United States.
Man, I'm gonna tell you where
it's a 50-50.
I'm gonna tell you where there's a real fan base in boxing. Mexico.
Oh,
Them
yeah.
folks, look, hey man, double salute to the Hispanic community, man. I don't care if that person live in Delaware. If a Hispanic fighter coming from Delaware come to, let's say, Atlanta, everybody in the Atlanta Hispanic community, they coming out to support, bro. And so, to me, one of my top 3 fighters of all time is Roberto Duran. He was a monster, bro. That man was a monster, bro. A legend, bro. He a living icon. Like, I just remember him, fighting Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, all them boys, Hearns. That boy getting them folk that work too, bro. And he had a confidence about himself. And I can just relate to Roberto Duran because he from them streets and he just had that, man, I don't care. Like, he was just a goon. He kind of reminded me like Mike Tyson a little bit. You feel what I'm saying? But, yeah, but anyway, I really have a tremendous amount of respect for the Hispanic community. Y'all really come out and support y'all fighters, be it male or female. And I believe that my top fighter coming out, I say in the top three is Isaac Cruz, Pitbull. You know what I'm saying? The one that fought Javante Davis. Yeah, he was really serious, and he got that, that peekaboo style that I really do like, custom model. And man, I want to give a shout out, man, and thank you, Holy Spirit. So, man, I had a great friend who was a pioneer, who have changed the hip hop culture forever. Robert Earl Davis Jr., known as DJ Screw. Man, I want to say, Screw, man, thank you for so many conversations in your home when we were just alone, bro. Like, shout out to Nikki for letting me, co-signing on me and allowing me just to come through them burglar bars, because everybody couldn't come up and screw hard. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? And man, he told me, he said, man, Firquan, man, one day, man, you're gonna scrounge the world. And when I left his house, I went to Randall's. That's a supermarket down in Houston. And I was walking past the magazine, and I opened it up and I seen Screw in the Source magazine. And I took that magazine, had Screw to sign it, man. He said, "Scrounge the whole world, man." And man, I don't think a lot of recognition get done towards Screw. So Screw on the Stafford Boxing Report, which is global, my boy. I want to say, man, rest in heaven, man. I hope you looking down on me, man, being proud of your boy, man, even though I ain't in the H-Town, I'm in Atlanta. But at the same time, I'm so H-Town, but I love Atlanta. Atlanta my home, and Atlanta been good to me. I was able to find a beautiful woman here. Man, Screw, man, you and Fat Pat and Hawk, man, I hope y'all boys up there, you know what I'm saying, looking down on your boy shining, though, for real.
I also want to bring up about the amateurs fighters, the female amateur fighters. We need more information on the amateur female fights. It's hard to get. I don't know who's on the teams, but I believe that since it's starting with the amateurs, then you all really need to get this information out there so then people will know who's out there, see their videos, get acclimated with them, see what they have going on, pick their favorites, give their opinions, make it more exciting. You all are not doing that. There's could be so many amateur fights going on with females and you don't even know. It's not always going to be advertised. It's like you all are still trying to hide the women, and there's no need for it because all these years, and even in history, for you all to still be feeling the way that you all feel, trying to be hard headed. And even though it is run by men, remember, you all wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for a woman. Even though a male and a woman together is the reason why you're here, but as people say, the decision lays or lies with the woman who nurtures you and feeds you and makes sure that you have everything that you need growing up to be the person that you are now. Stop being so hard headed. More pay, that's not hard. You all have the money, and more fights.
Well, baby, let me
And start working it out in the United States because they're still hiding folks. That's how it's coming off. I can't find it is it can be so frustrating if you are trying to do research and you want to know something about a female fighter and then you can't find it. But you can sure find a man. You can put the first three letters of the name and pop. They're the first three or two or one that comes up in the Google search.
In retrospect, the women have to be entertaining because at the end of the day, this is a business. Now, I'm not saying, hear what I'm saying?
Look, everybody, you see how I had to do the lean?
Hold up, wait a minute. This is what I'm saying. A female boxer may have skills, but do they bring in excitement? That's what Cuss said.
That's why they need to have more video of the female amateurs
Well, it's
as
up.
well to
Well,
see.
hold up. It's the responsibility of the trainer and the camp of that female fighter to take, because there's no excuse now. They can use their iPhone.
That's why I'm saying
They
they
can
need
use,
to.
well,
That's what they need to do.
So the responsibility should be more on that female camp than it should be the promoter, or vice versa.
Now, I will say the promoter has something to do with it, because if you are expecting, if you have a female fighter, or if you just have a fighter, period, and there's nothing out there about them, then the promoter needs to be like, look, but the promoter needs to already have that already in the circle, in his or her business. That has to come from the promoter, even though it's common sense for the trainer, or even if it's the coach, or if they hire somebody else. The promoter's the one that's in charge. The promoter has to, and I'm not even going to give you this information because I've said it too many times, has to have certain people in place. Remember, you always said it starts at the head. It starts at the top. That's still responsible.
But it should be the camp. Let me give you an example.
Okay, give an example.
Like me and you.
Okay.
Right? We hustlers out here. Ain't nobody not gonna do anything for us. We got to make it on our own, and we got to be able to provide content. So I just think that there's no excuse for them not to have video content. I think it's the person drive and passion, and they got to be able to sell themselves.
And that falls on the promoter, because that means the promoter has
Look at
people
Deion Sanders.
that's
okay,
not
peep game. Deion Sanders, right? Excuse me, Coach Prime.
Deion Sanders.
Coach Prime. Coach Prime has his son, Deion Sanders Jr., filming everything, and they got their own YouTube channel.
And I bet you Coach Prime Deion Sanders probably also put that in his ear. Now, I'm not saying that Coach Prime Deion Sanders knows everything, but he's been in the business for a very long time and behind the scenes.
But what I'm saying is that he's doing it independently. He's not waiting on Jackson State.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying. So if you are a fighter, so you're a promoter, and then I'm a fighter, right? And then I have my team.
I can't really depend.
I have my coach and all that. I can't depend
on the
what do you need to do? You as a promoter, even though the promoter has major responsibilities.
But we know how the boxing industry is.
So that's why when things change, the promoter needs to either hire.
But the promoter not going to always do what he say he's going to do. Now, unless you put it in black and white. And then even if you do put it in black and white, because of people's character, they may not do it. So if you get it in black and white and the promoter don't do it, then what you going to do?
What are you talking about? If the promoter doesn't do what?
Like, let's say advertise or put video out there on social media.
Well, female boxers, anybody who's a boxer or who is boxing or who wants to box or who's an amateur or wants to do the Olympics, we have to figure out if the Olympics is even going to happen with boxing.
Man, you got to do it on your own.
Then the female boxers, make sure that you have somebody, even if it's a family or if it's a friend or somebody, if the promoter is not going to have somebody specifically to market you and advertise you, then you have somebody to do it.
Yes.
But the promoters know good and well that it's gotten easier nowadays to do things.
But people don't have that type of discipline, nor do they have.
So why are they promoters then? But they got that discipline to get the money and to do unethical things. Some of them.
So what we gonna say? Because we're not gonna talk about.
I'm not talking about anybody specifically.
I know, but what I'm saying, when you talk about promoters, there are only a few handful of promoters, so we don't want to sing out no promoter because we may be sitting across the table.
I am not singling out any promoter.
But we're not scared.
I'm not singling. Look, this is what I don't do. I don't single anybody out. I just tell the facts on what it is that I see and how everything is going. I am just suggesting. So if the promotion company is not going to do it, which should really be making it easier for the boxer to be able to train, because all the boxer needs to do, the boxer should not have to try to get sponsorships, because I did see a few female boxers asking for sponsorships on social media. But as a promoter for myself, all the boxer is going to have to do is just train, eat, just
Baby,
just do what you got to do.
everybody not gonna be
I said
honest. You know
me.
that's what I'm saying. Everybody not gonna be honest like
That's
you.
why I said me.
Everybody like we've been in the boxing industry for a short period of time, and we already see how cutthroat it is, right?
Yeah.
So we had to, once we got cut and we let our wounds heal, now we were like, okay, bet this is how it's gonna go. So this is how we gotta be. So my point is that we can't expect blood from a turnip. And we can't expect people who've been doing business a certain way to all of a sudden just change. What we can do is that we can bring a different element to the boxing industry and hope that it will be receptive towards the boxing community. And as a respect, they will give us respect. And as a result, it'll bring about a change in the boxing industry. But that is a big task, and that's a long way ahead. The first thing we need to do is continue to do what we're doing, is make sure that we have a good image and the people behind the image have good
That's why
character.
I said me. I said I'm just giving suggestions.
I get
I
you.
said for me, I'm talking about for me,
Man, you
then
just gotta be a
that's the
hustler,
only
man.
thing.
You just gotta
And
be a
my
hustler.
head, my thing keeps on coming off. Excuse me, y'all.
At the end of the day, you just got to be a hustler, man. You got to, you can't depend on anyone. Uh, you got to take things into your own hand. And that was one of the things I read today when I was reading The Mind of Customato, is that a fighter got to take his own life into his own hand, his own career into his hand. You can't really wait on people to do things for yourself. You got to be one to do it. Like all that wishing and wanting, that don't work. That's the wheels behind the motivation to go forward. But you got to put that work in. And sometimes you may have to promote yourself. You have to reach out to other people and so forth until you can get to a certain level. But there shouldn't be any excuse now to self promote yourself. You got your own IG, you got TikTok, you got Facebook, you got LinkedIn, you got Twitter, you got all these type of social media platforms to promote yourself.
But that's for like the females though. Like when it comes to the males with the amateurs, you automatically know who's fighting. It's the females. I get what you're saying. You're absolutely right. Everything that you said was absolutely right. What I'm saying is, of course,
It's just the
there's always
mindset
going to
here
be
in
there's
America,
always going to
bro.
be, I know that, but there's
It's
always going
just
to be
this
a
how they
difference. And I
are.
just wanted to speak up on it because there was a fight that I had posted in the Stafford Boxing Report group. And I bet you nobody really barely even knew that she was even fighting, and she's in the amateurs. And
Well,
sometimes people just
can I
don't
ask you a question?
know.
Do male amateurs get a lot of publicity?
You'll know that, yeah, you'll know if a if a male boxer is doing amateurs, you will know about that quicker than you would know about the females. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't
But
know.
see, a lot of the females too that are from other countries, let's keep it real, they really just don't know. That's why I wish they would have had something on Karen Elizabeth, because Karen Elizabeth, I'm not gonna lie, she handled herself. She really did. But that was a mismatch fight. Now Katie fought Pursoon. Now, when I watch fights, sometimes I won't listen to it with the volume on because I don't want to hear what the commentators are saying. But Pursoon, she was good, but she's just an unorthodox fighter. She's like wild. So I was kind of throwing Katie off. That was with their first fight. But I am looking forward to Serrano and Katie, because now what's happened is since she just had this fight, everybody where she lives at is all excited. So now they're probably going to have the fight over there, which
Which
kind of makes sense because I see what you all did. So, oh, real quick, Jake Paul won his fight. I believe he's 6-0. But I have a question for people, and this is no disrespect. Now, he's been fighting, like, he fought an MMA fighter now. He was 47 years old. And he started fighting somebody. It was Nate Robinson, right? His first fight that was playing the basketball. So, do you all think that that makes Jake Paul like a really great boxer if he's kind of fighting people outside of the boxing arena? Because there was a post where they had Muhammad Ali and both of them side by side. So they're starting to say that he's becoming a new Muhammad Ali. So I just wanted to know people's opinion about it. I don't have anything to say. What you do is what you do and how you do it, but I do know what he's trying to do. I believe he's trying to bring awareness to the boxing and the MMA because I believe that the fighters are
And that good. I mean, excuse me. That dude, Jake Paul, is remarkable when it comes to
marketing.
Man, like I ain't gonna lie, I be trying to watch him so I can get my hustle game up. But before we go, I want to say this about what you were saying. I think that in life, people have a difficult time about change because we're so used to things being a certain way. And when a person bring a new angle or a different vibe to it, it takes people time to adjust to it, and or you may have people that may reject to it. So there may be people that think what Jake Paul is doing is a good thing, and then there are people who do not approve of what he's doing. Mm-hmm. One thing I will say, I can't remember a time when boxing was kind of losing its mojo, and I will say Jake Paul has brought some type of excitement back to boxing, and he's doing it in his own unique way. And I think that we need to give this man his card. Now, in terms of comparing him to Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Ali just on a whole nother level. But in terms of outside of the boxing ring and what he stood for, Jake Paul, he's doing it for entertainment and then making money. Muhammad Ali wasn't known for a person to be making a lot of money as like Jake Paul, but there's a different time and era. But I don't think that you can compare the two because Muhammad Ali is an icon. He will forever be remembered in the hearts of millions and millions of people as a righteous man who stood up for what was right, even if it means taking away the thing that he truly loved, and that was boxing and the ability to provide for his family. But on Jake Paul's side, I just respect what he's doing because he's taking the new wave, which is technology, and making it more accessible and then bringing more excitement. So he brought a basketball player, so he brought an MMA fighter, and I think another MMA fighter and another YouTuber, whatever. But at the same time, it is bringing awareness to the sport of boxing. So like people who would tune into, let's say, a Earl Spence that wouldn't normally tune into it because of Jake Paul and what he's doing is bringing the flashlight on to the sport of boxing. So I think it's a lot of good in what he's doing. And I don't think, like, my humble opinion, comparing him to Muhammad Ali is appropriate because Muhammad Ali stood for a people and he stood for righteousness, and he just made a life living sacrifice. And like I say, but I respect what Jake Paul is doing. He's doing a remarkable job, and I'm hoping one day Jake Paul and Logan Paul will partnership with the Stafford Boxing Club with the Prime Energy drink.
Facts. I like what you just said. And for me, I'm just shedding light on certain things, but at the same time, being careful because I already know I don't go off on emotions with certain things. I'll just keep it real. I just want to help the women That's all.
You're doing a
Because they're
remarkable
fighting,
job.
and I believe
You're
that
doing a
we, and I
remarkable
do. And
job,
just one
Sheila.
last thing, I really do believe that women deserve what it is that they deserve. And the crazy thing about it is, the women aren't even asking for much. They're asking for equal pay, and then they're asking for the 3 minutes, and then just more notoriety.
It's coming. It's coming. I think people like you who are the voice of women in boxing. Like, just think about a few years ago, there wasn't a Stafford boxing report, the voice for women in boxing and for women who desire to be business women in boxing. So you are that voice, and so you making a wave. And so we just started this podcast, and so
It's come a
it's come
long
a long
way.
way, and it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. And the more that we out there, the more it's going to bring awareness, and then people going to want to continue to support it. So I think today's podcast was pretty good.
Yeah, it was
It
interesting.
was interesting, and that's what we are all about. We use the sport of boxing to bring awareness, not only in the boxing ring but also in the community. And it was good having Ali on today, for real.
Yes, so even, and real quick about that too, even if you're not living in Georgia, and whether it's you, your family, or if you know someone or know a family that's in need, there are resources that's going to be out there no matter where you are. So just come together, just help, give them the information if they don't know, or if they're not able to obtain the information themselves. So I wanted to put that out there too.
But Sheila, normally I end the show with the gold nugget, and the Lord ain't put nothing in me. You know what I'm saying? I think that what we talked about today was the gold nugget.
Yeah,
And
helping,
so,
serving,
yeah,
being humble,
being humble. So,
helping
I,
those in
I
need.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it this time.
Yeah, I did too.
Anything else before we get up out of here?
No, just love on each other. Listen to what people are saying. Listen and hear. Just be yourselves. Don't try to be someone that you're not.
And
Let's
man,
all
just
come
keep it
together
P.
and
Keep it
stop
player,
and
man.
stop all this school shooting stuff.
For
It's it's
real.
it's it's getting real bad out there. Just stop shooting. Period. If you have bad anger management problems, I don't think that's
Count to
something.
10.
I
Matter
don't
of
think
fact,
that's something that
go
you
punch a
need.
punching bag if you feel some type of
Boxing,
way.
yeah, boxing
Get
is
that
the way
anger
to
out,
take
man.
all that
Yeah,
aggression
and
out.
we got some boxing gloves for sale too. Real talk, all leather Stafford boxing. We got our own boxing gloves, Stafford boxing gloves, the making of champion.
Facts.
You ready?
Yeah.
Well, everyone, we appreciate your time. We hope that you like, share, and subscribe to the Stafford Boxing Report. Thank you so much to Talkin' Fight. We
Yes.
appreciate you. And we
Yes.
out of here. Stafford Boxing.
The making of champions.
No cappuccino.